in a year, One is not enough. And we're going to start with a very, very powerful show. And we start the way we start. Well, say after me. Until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. And we'll say that again. Folks, I said until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. Hello and welcome to the Ghana month version of That's My Opinion. And as always, the most opinionated are with thought-provoking topics. I am your senior citizen who comes around to tell the stories every Monday, same time. The one and only Nana Ansah Kwao IV of the Little Republic of Akwemu, Edumasa. And our topic today, folks, modern Ghana and the traditional Queen Mother. Modern Ghana and the traditional Queen Mother. On the surface, it may not sound much. Modern Ghana and the traditional Queen Mother, quite simple. They do their cloth dancing crane thing, decorate themselves with jewels. Nowadays, a bit of face painting, and there you have it, Queen Mother. But no. Folks, one of my wishes is to really do a research to find out, what experiences or challenges that our forefathers went through for them to set certain laws and take certain decisions that they took, which, we also abide by today. Though we have thrown many out because we are more educated, or if I should say, we are more schooled. But that's something that I would really love to do. You see, folks, with conventional type of schooling, you need to tell us why we have to do something. You can't simply say, don't go there or don't eat this. The first question will be why. Now, those of you with growing up children, from the time you leave home till you get to school, it's why this and why that until you get to school. And sometimes it can be very annoying and you're not supposed to shut them down. They are supposed to be curious. So it's why this and why that and why, the why generation, maybe you can call them. Folks, this issue of why in modern education really clashes with traditional education where you're not really told why. You are not told why you were meant to do something, or don't go there, or don't sit down. If you take modern education, the teacher can say, today we are going to learn how to clean our liver. So we have to eat more fiber and drink plenty of water or fluids, or maybe water more. Before you are even given the instructions, you are told why. Traditional education, it will be drink water or you never get a good wife to marry. Simple. You don't have any permission to ask why or not. Teacher will just come and tell you something. Drink water. And if you ask why, they tell you otherwise, you won't get a good woman to marry. Hello? What if I don't want to get married? Those are the things. What if I don't want to get married? So don't go to the farm or don't go to the bush on Thursday, because if you go, you'll be eaten by a lion. What if I'm fed up with life and I want to be eaten by a lion? So, the real reasons behind instructions in traditional education is not really told. And in conventional education, it's a big clash. That's why I'm not surprised that many modern day queen mothers have become chiefs. No, I know they are female occupying male stool positions. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about queen mothers who, through no fault of theirs, have become chiefs without knowing her true role, because they are throwing away instructions and rules that have no meaning. The whys have not been answered. Folks, until I came to understand, I also thought the Queen Mother was being dealt a hard blow. And as a feminist, I thought, why should the Queen Mother be in the background, sort of relegated in the back? I mean, it looked like a relegation. But I'll tell you, it's far from the truth. Well, folks, first of all, the Queen Mother is strictly exempted from administration and politics. The Queen Mother is the mother to the chief and not the wife of the chief. We are not in England or Nigeria. The Queen Mother in Ghana is Ohene Mami, not Ohenere. Why we don't call them the King's Mother, maybe it's another show. Why we don't call them the King's Mother or just Queens is another show altogether. But for now, it's the Queen Mother, is not the King's wife. The Queen Mother is the key advisor to the chief and the town. All major decisions should be run by her. All major decisions should be run by her. And she must make sure that whoever is installed is truly related to the stool in the right way, either patrilineal or matrilineal, but mostly the matrilineal case. Folks, I'm sure many of you have heard the phrase, Yekobisa Abrewa, or Abrewa said this, or Abrewa said that, Abrewa yifu pome frikwemu, meaning she has given permission. That Abrewa, i.e. the Queen Mother, has to be neutral as possible. Strictly speaking, she's not even supposed to come out to mingle. She spends her time with other Queen Mothers and grooming the young ladies in the town or the community, and really concerns herself with family trees, not only of hers, but even of other families within the town. That's a knowledge she must have to sustain the true legacy of that town. Folks, the Queen Mother plays the role of a Supreme Court judge, if not the Chief Justice of the town. I mean, can you imagine a Supreme Court justice, mingling with us, dancing with us at the beach, drinking with us at the bars and taking sides in matters before them? Exactly not. But you see, they have been told why they have to seclude themselves, and they get rewarded from it. Their whys have been answered. The Chief Justice in the Supreme Court have been told, do not mingle because of A, B, C, D. But unfortunately, the Queen Mothers, you're just told, just stay home and don't mingle, but the reasons haven't been told them. Folks, the Queen Mother plays the role of a Supreme Court judge. So it's very important. And even at the point where the Queen Mother nominates a candidate to be installed, she does not take part in the vetting. That process is believed, that area, is believed to be a bit too political. So once you point that Abeku should be, installed as a chief, the vetting and all those processes, she doesn't even get involved in it. Now, for me, I think the most difficult role for the Queen Mother is that she's not supposed to do anything. That's very difficult, because as human, you have views and may want to express them, but we require them to keep it to themselves, to stay neutral. You can't say, I'm in Peajuata Manasem and I'm in Freeman Manasem. You can't say that. Keep it to yourself, because when it comes to elections and you don't pick one, they will say, also, you can't cancel on Pema, I mean, assembly that. But she's a human being. And maybe truly that's a feeling she wants to express. But she's not allowed to do that. And I think as human, one of the most difficult things to do is to do nothing. So today, folks, Queen Mothers are selling lands. Yes. Very active in town's administration. Going to collect monies for the town and signing on behalf of the town. And one of the dangerous misconceptions in modern times, which is killing many towns, is where the Queen Mother thinks that they are in charge when there's no king. Trouble. Can you imagine, folks? If I tell you, if you take about 100 towns with this situation, you'll be lucky to get 2 where there's peace. There's no town where the Queen Mother deputizes for the king. Where then is the neutrality? And when they taste the trappings of the king's authority, that's it. The Queen Mother's position never changes. Whoever is in charge, she plays the same role. The Queen Mother's position never changes. If the chief goes and the Mankradu takes over, or the king goes and Nifahini, whatever your structure is, the Queen Mother stays the Queen Mother. She doesn't come to deputize for the chief. So, folks, it is by no means an easy task. That's why even in conflict, folks, even in conflicts, women are not targeted in traditional warfare. There are skulls in some storerooms as trophies from war. It will be very hard to find a skull of a woman in anybody's storeroom. It's not possible. The place of women in our tradition is somewhat hallowed. If a chief sits in state and there's no woman sitting, it is deemed that that sitting is not complete. Now, see, what really takes the biscuit, folks? What really takes the biscuit is some Queen Mothers on social media these days. Oh my God. Sharing opinions on every subject, from politics to faith to trending issues. Hey, Ohima, 4 more for Nana Singh on your Facebook page. Are you for real? Queen Mother, J.M. Twaso. Where did we get to? Where did we get to? Again, folks, the new style of dressing, oh my days. I saw a picture on Facebook and the Queen Mother had more apparel on her than the chief. Just assessing. Are you upstaging your son now? This is your son. And you are upstaging him? And the makeup, folks, even Picasso will clap for her. United colors of Benetton everywhere. They are always in the cities, from one event to the other, to this event, to that event. So you wonder, what was said before they took the position? Did they ever have that confinement? And in the confinement, what was told them? Now, I was speaking to one chief who said they nominated someone as a Queen Mother for their stew. Right after the nomination, she had a logo made, plastered on Instagram, and it sounded like a joke. Yep, a logo. But folks, I knew the world was definitely coming to an end when I saw on social media a Queen Mother lying in her bed, taking a picture with a very low top. Well, no breast showing, but you can't tell whether she's naked or not, with the caption, "Today's mood." Today's mood, Nana Hima. Now, I could just hear Peter saying, repent, 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 for the time is nigh. The end is nigh. Folks, I know the times have changed, but I believe the principle is very much the same. You are the Queen Mother who holds the town and the family together. Can you imagine going to the Supreme Court with your case and the justice hearing your case, has posted a picture of herself saying today's mood? Really? The first thing I would ask her is, are you out of the mood yet before you hear my case? Are you out of the mood yet before you hear my case? There should be a balance. There must be a balance as we begin Ghana month we are asking our queen mothers to relook at their role. May this will bring peace and ultimately development. But equally, I urge my colleague chiefs not to chop and leave their mothers out. That role of being the supreme mother should be accorded to them. Go to them at dawn, plan together, and if they do nothing, I mean, if they are not supposed to do anything and just stay there, then the issue of letting them feel super relevant should not be downplayed. They must feel super relevant. So she knows that she's part of the administration, but behind the scene, because she can't be in the front row, in the firing line, playing politics. But now, what do we see? Queen mothers are leading the litigations in their town. Queen mothers who were supposed to hold the town together and neutralize all fireworks are now leading litigations. So you see, once you deviate from your God-given culture, and whether you like it or not, God gave everybody some innate culture. Once you deviate from it and think you are advancing or being modern or whatever it is, there is a price to pay. And today, in most towns, the prevalence of litigation and prolonged litigation, some go on for years. Because, folks, you cannot live in a town, a community, a city where you don't have that neutral person that you all go to in case there's something to settle. Because there will always be an issue to settle. And so our forefathers have taught that, listen, let us create that office here so that when there's a disagreement, we can all go. It doesn't matter whether it's me, whether it's you, everyone is able to go to this office, just like we are able to go to our Supreme Court, whoever you are, to go and pour out your issues, and they'll think about it, and whatever decision they bring, everybody accepts. Whether you like it or not, you accept it. So that was the office. So it is not like the Queen Mother was disrespected or sidelined, but no, today the woman is empowered. Today, the woman also has degrees. So she's not going to be relegated in the background. That was for your old forefathers. No. That was for peace. That was for development. That is how come some towns still exist today for us to come and inherit. Otherwise, we would have ripped ourselves apart. So as we go into this modern Ghana, with our old traditions, contemporary queen mothers, we must find a line. And we must appreciate what it is that the wise old men taught us. Otherwise, we should be ready for litigation until such time that, anytime you mention something tradition, you'll probably even be embarrassed. Like today, look at the noble profession of priesthood. You have had so much Sakawa priest to the point that now if you say you were a priest, but maybe no. But now we are tarring all priests with the same brush. It will get to a time where anytime you mention anything about chieftaincy or tradition, they say, if we are not even there yet. So please, the reverence of the Queen Mother must be found again. In spite of their degrees and PhDs and whatever it is in modern Ghana, it must be found. Well, it's 0302 216 541. The great, the legendary Kwao. Today's mood, Nana is feeling sexy like she was probably listening to the Late Night Express. George, I suspect so. I suspect so, George. So will there be a line, and where can we drop it? Because it's not easy. You can't get somebody to go and do her PhD or a double master's and come and say, now sit down, don't do anything, and that's your role. If that's going to be her role, then you really must give her that role, must give her that reference, give her that importance. And you stay neutral and keep your town peaceful. Hello, who's talking to me?
Nana Ansah Kwao. Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Saint O.J. Osei.
Saint Osei, let me hear you.
I live at Kaswa.
Okay.
And I associate myself with the University of Cape Coast.
Okay, that's good.
Nana, there has been a few things that have bothered my mind over the years, especially as a historian. Mm-hmm. And that has been that what does it seem to suggest that almost all those who can think properly are not at the helm of affairs where they can actually influence and cause a change in our society. When you take our politics, it looks like those who can properly think outside of the politics. If you take our chieftaincy, it looks like those who can properly think are not in there. If you take our clergy, like you mentioned, you have segmented certain aspects of society. That could have been an epitome of, something godly, something you can look up to, something, what really happened? What has really happened to our society such that the right ones are outside and the wrong ones are inside? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. A big question for all of us. 0302216541. We are looking at the role of a Queen Mother in a modern world. And I'm saying, even in those days, I can imagine it being very, very challenging, let alone today. Because you're basically taking from the society, you are cut off from the society, left there to keep that society in shape. Hello, who's talking to me?
Yeah, Nana.
Yes,
good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, this is Chief Abdallah.
Chief, let me hear you.
Yes, please. From Tamale.
Chief, let me hear you.
Yes. In fact, you really touch, a very subject that I have wanted to be hearing for a very long time to come. In connection with our Queen Mothers, it happens I went to Winneba about 3 years ago, and there was this problem between the Queen Mother of Ewutu Briku and then the Omahine. And this issue, they dragged this issue in for so many years. They cannot celebrate when it is time for them to celebrate the Awobia festival. The Queen Mother will go to court and place an injunction denying the good people of Ewutu not to celebrate their festival. The enlightenment the Queen Mother has should have rather go out to bring development to the people. But honestly speaking, I don't know what has happened in between the Omahine and then the Queen Mother. But it is time for our mothers, like you said, to sit down and iron out the differences so that development will come to the people. So this is what I also wanted to contribute to the program.
And I thank you very much, because the Queen Mother, your son is on the stool. Your son is on the stool. So traditionally, you don't even fight your son directly. You can report your son to the Jasi elders. That listen, my son is doing A, B, C, D, and that. I want you people to look into it. You don't get involved. Because after this son, you're going to bring another son to come in. So you are never involved. But hello, who's on the line?
Yes, Florence on the line.
Hello, Florence.
Good evening, Nana.
Good evening.
Okay. Thank you very much for this topic. I think it should be continued. Today's program, I've enjoyed it so much. I want to add to what the caller, the one who just ended, said. In other words, I see, or per your submissions, I see Queen Mother to be, in quotes, one way or the other, I don't want to say litigation causes or something, but it looks like it's trying to be like that. Because if you nominate somebody to become the chief and you make a mistake, then trouble starts. But if you nominate the right person, trouble don't come. So it's true that sometimes the Queen Mother cause the litigation. In other words, indirectly, it's not the Queen Mothers. When somebody is nominated, a chief comes and forgets about the Queen Mother. Then you often hear Odidijame, Odidijame. It's your mother. The Queen Mother is your mother. So you have to you have to take care of your mother. And when that does not come, then the next person to be nominated, sometimes they negotiate. Give me this, I'll give you that. When you fail to give that, when you are nominated, and then later you fail to give what you are supposed to give to the Queen Mother, then her eyes become red. So it's not all the time that Queen Mothers cause the problem. In some cases, yes, they do. But in some cases, it's coming from the chiefs as well. Thank you very much.
I do agree with you very much. You see, let me quickly say this. You see, this modern thing. All the chiefs too have now become born again. It's me and my wife and my child. I don't want anybody from the village to come to my house. This, that. Your sideline. These little so quote and unquote civilization things can breed problems if you are not careful. But hello, who's on the line? Hello, 0302216541. Babusia Jackson in Cape Coast, I see you and good evening. Hello, who's on the line?
Yeah, hello, Nana. Good evening.
Good evening.
Nana, this is Gilbert Boating Ejare speaking from Equiapem Ketase.
Gilbert, let me hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. I think this topic is one that, a lot of people have actually not paid attention to. And since you've brought it, into the space for discussion, I think it's very laudable that we discuss it extensively because, as you said, it is causing a lot of challenges, especially in the rural areas, because that is where the development is so less. And normally they depend on the chief or the Queen Mother for development. So if the two of them themselves are not in a very good terms, I mean, development is likely not going to come to the village. And I think the lady said it all that some of the Queen Mothers actually are neglected when the chief, after getting his nomination from the Queen Mother and after being installed as a chief, they tend to forget that somebody actually nominated them. But you see, here too, it baffles my mind a bit because if you are the Queen Mother, what at all are you also expecting from the chief? Is it the recognition or something that should come in monetary terms? Nana, because you are a chief, I learned. So I think you can walk us through that one. Because if you tell me that maybe I have neglected you, is it that you've been neglected in terms of when we are making decisions and I don't take your opinions or your views, or you think that there are certain things in monetary terms or something, that you are not getting your share of it. Because if that is the case, that we say the Queen Mothers must be remembered in terms of the chief ensuring that he gets certain monies or something from the palace, then probably we are just sort of, entertaining corruption, as we always chastise or rebuke the politicians for it. So in this case,
okay, let me come
yes,
in.
and I'm listening.
You see, we bring the Queen Mother and we try to like isolate her from society. She stays there as neutral as possible. So in the strictest of terms, she's not even working. She's just at home. So in terms of how she feeds, how she buy a cloth, and there are mostly children and people around her that she's grooming.
Yeah, that she will feed,
yeah.
yes.
So her kitchen should never be empty. And yes, she must also
Yes.
have and also.
But I would like to ask you this. So that one, wouldn't it be prudent in terms of taking into cognizance the stool that we are particularly, as it were, referring to? So, for example, we all know that there are a lot of stools in this country that at least we know there are certain good stuff around it, and there are some that probably the chief is even struggling. So, for example, if you go to my hometown, Bremen is here in the central region. I mean, we don't have anything around the stool. So if you are a Queen Mother and your expectations are not also lowered, now don't you think it can also create certain turbulence, because you may think that the chief is getting a lot of money and he's not minding you or something? Don't you think that one too will have to be considered in terms of as we seek to resolve this issue?
Exactly. In a situation like that, the Queen Mother knows that there's no money. So her recognition will be that, the Queen Mother cannot be in the, let's say, village, and then all of a sudden there are some contractors building a school, and then she has to come and ask, why is you Nana school, no? And then she actually learns this information from a bypasser. She would have loved that her son would have called her early morning and say, oh, I met A and B yesterday, and so they are promised to come and build us a school, so that even if she sees and somebody comes to ask, oh, Nana Hima, then they goes, oh, me banana okope school you buy, rather than we never catch so these little things just make her feel she's part of the situation. Hello, and who's talking to me?
Yes.
Hello.
I'm Collins.
Collins.
I think the problem can solely be fixed on the doorstep of communication. Because
Collins, I can barely hear you.
Is it clear?
I think it's a bit better,
Okay, I was saying that I think the problem can surely be fixed on the doorstep of the kingmakers and kingmakers. Because when you are appointed as a king or a queen, despite the fact that maybe you are born and then you are in line, there are rules and regulations on how you have to do and all that. If the person is not following that path, the kingmakers can call the person back. For instance, I know there is this old actor, I think Rokuto. There was a time we heard he has become a king. And you could tell some attitude change.
Sorry, your line is really terrible. Hope you can get a better line. It's 0302216541. No, so what I'm saying is that it's a very difficult position to give the Queen Mother. But there are too many things. Because of civilization, we look down on that original position that was given the Queen Mother, because we are now schooled, we are empowered, we want to get out there and do whatever it is that we want to do. But I'm telling you that the original role that was given them was more powerful, was more hallowed, was more reverent. And again, like people are saying, you lock her in the room, expect her to be neutral, and then you are there chopping and not giving her, she's going to get out and come back in the firing line. Meanwhile, she's supposed to douse fires. Hello, who's talking to me?
Nana, good evening. Papa John Tani, Nana Himawendo.
Ah, great. You have a lot to say on this one.
I have to be here, right?
You have a lot to say on this one. Let me hear you.
Nana, I missed the beginning. Forgive me. So I probably might have missed your introductions and some of the very interesting nuggets you presented. But I chanced on when you had reached the fact that Queen Mothers, their positions are noble and it should be reverent. I missed our positions and our PhDs and whatever. So that is where I chanced on, and I thought I should just say a few words.
Sure.
We appreciate the fact that the queens are the ones who put our cheese on their stools, in most cases, especially in the account system. We are all aware that that is what happens. And I heard one lady saying that it happens most of the time that when the Queen Mothers finish putting the cheese there, the story changes. It happens in most cases. In their effort to play mothers, some of them are sidelined, some of them don't have the opportunity to say anything, But we think that in order for Queen Mothers to earn that kind of reverence, that kind of reputation, the person herself has to also be astute. The person has to be ready to learn. The person has to be ready to be development-oriented so that the person can support her community for the people to appreciate the position. Gone are those days when Queen Mothers were just sitting at the palaces, and you know that now, especially the modern Queen Mother. That's what you are treating. Mm-hmm. So gone are those days. If the Queen Mother is, somebody who is up and doing, somebody who is very, oriented, has orientations that drive her towards development for her community and the people in her area, then you see the people give her that kind of respect, that kind of authority, is enhanced. And this is where I want us all to drive our minds to.
Okay, before Unity Queen, Nana, before you move forward, you see, as much as we appreciate the Queen Mother who's also bringing development, the original role of the Queen Mother was not to was exempted from politics and administration, so she can stay as neutral as possible. And I'm saying now that she has PhDs and everything, how do you do that? How do you exempt her from administration and politics of the town? Because as soon as you do that, you are sort of taking sides, and you should be such that obia to me babrewa ho bibi sanasem. But if you do that and some functions come to Abrewa, they'll run to the High Court and then that's it.
Yeah, Nana, that is why our chiefs are also, supposed to appreciate the positions, the abilities of the Queen Mother. Because, for example, I know the way you treat your Queen Mother, and I know the way you enhance her position. I know the way you want to showcase your Queen Mother. I know the way you want to give her the opportunity to speak when it is possible. You see, so you drive her, and you make everybody around you see her worth. If we get all our chiefs, and I can assure you that a lot of our chiefs do that, but when you hear any Queen Mother complaining, that is true, that the person is having issues in her environment. Her environment meaning that she doesn't have the opportunity to explore, she doesn't have the opportunity to operate. But any chief who gives his Queen Mother the opportunity to operate is actually helping himself, because our modern Queen Mothers have a lot to bring to the table.
Nana, thank you very much. I wish I had so much time. But yes, my Queen Mother is pursuing her PhD. So, the little Republic of Edumasa, the Queen Mother is a PhD student. And, I pride myself that not many towns have, PhD Queen Mothers. So, but hello, who's on the line?
Nana, this is Charles.
Charles, let me hear you.
Yes, please. My contribution is that our Queen Mothers and our kings, they are custodians not just of traditions, but also of morals. And so when we are appointing Queen Mothers, and especially let's focus on Queen Mothers because we're talking about Queen Mothers, we should focus on morality. Mm-hmm. A few weeks ago, I saw one of, I don't know if you know this.
Don't mention names.
Oh, okay.
Don't mention names, no.
Well?
Yeah, you can talk about the issue, but leave the name out.
Well, okay. A lady has been appointed a Queen Mother of a traditional area, or I don't know if it's not traditional, but she's a Queen Mother. And this is somebody who even after her, before being appointed a Queen Mother, she would dress and show 3/4 of her breast. And even after being appointed a Queen Mother, she shows the same 3/4 of breast. This is a moral issue that I think that if our people will talk about same-sex marriage as not being our tradition, would you want to see a Queen Mother dressed and you will see almost her nipples? So when people like this come out, or when kingmakers or queen makers appoint people like this to be on the limelight, then we are destroying the kingship or the traditional rule and everything. So when we now come around and say maybe we don't like this, we don't like same-sex marriage, I wonder that small morality issues, we can't even handle it. You understand? So I think the queen makers and the king makers themselves need to ask themselves a question. And we as a people, we also need to ask ourselves, do we consider morality as part and parcel of our life?
Thank you very much. Charity must begin at home. I'm sure that's exactly what you're saying. Hello, who's talking to me?
Yeah, Nana, good evening. Trust you are well.
I'm very good.
Yeah, Nana, this is a very serious education and discussion going on.
Mm-hmm.
Nana, I can see that nowadays we are replacing traditional way of doing things with the so-called civilization. The Queen Mother should be seen as a very important personality in our traditional setup. But it looks as if nowadays, if you are not educated, whatever you say will never be taken into consideration. So, if you have a Queen Mother, as you are saying, who has a degree, they will invite her to, give her opinion. But when you have that kind of Queen Mother, whose education is very low, she is not going to be recognized. And gone are the days when we are sitting down on an issue or case in our traditional setup, hardly for someone to complain that the judgment hasn't gone the way it should go. But we are comparing ourselves to this civilization thing, and now you come with somebody from Ahimfie, and the person will be complaining that the judgment hasn't gone. My own sister passed away when a chief didn't, rule the case the way it should go, and the woman eventually killed my sister through juju. So it's about time that we stick to our traditional issues and, stop considering this so-called civilization, which is not helping us. Thank you, Nana.
I thank you too. Much Ajimine Joseph in Community 9. So my Queen Mother is, I know she's doing some vocational training project, and so she's written letters and, going around to solicit for funds to start some vocational something, which I know she's doing. That's my Queen Mother. Nana Efia Sewa Ampafu Brakatu Edumasa Hima PhD. When we say we are a republic, don't joke with us. Then there's Ohinere, Gifty Auntie. As a chief, you should know I have a headache. If I have a PhD Queen Mother and I have Gifty Auntie as Ohinere, I'm bloody stuck in the middle. And pardon my language. But Ohinere too, while one is chasing vocational works to come to Dumasa, Ohinere too is also, she started the library. It was a 4-classroom derelict, and she managed to do 2. So we have 2 classrooms now. And then there's the other 2 left, which, she wants to do an infirmary and something else. Whatever it is, it goes to help the children in the society. And the library, they use the library for technical drawing classes. They use it for, it's become a godsend. That library's become a godsend. Even if it's student boarding class. But she wants to fix the other 2, so, let's give her support. That's if I can find the number. There she goes. Says, please disassociate myself from today's program. That's my wife. Well, the number is 054 3618 182 054 3618 I mean, whatever you can help with, cement, paint, roofing sheet, something. We do the extra true classrooms, and it's amazing. But very soon we're going to open a Dumasa for exhibition, and you'll be amazed, the work we're doing there. I mean, I pat myself on the back. I'm blowing my own trumpet, and we are doing a lot of work there to try and have a real positive change. And so I want to thank Ohiniri, I want to thank Efia Sewa for that support. These are great women that I cannot lock in the background, but somewhere we have to find the balance that they keep me as the chief and they play the woman role for us to work. So Efia Sewa, thank you very much. Ohiniri, thank you very much. But the messages I'm getting is that this program must continue. Well, folks, until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting will always glorify the hunter. Kwekumen is here to give you the bulletin. And Almighty, the legendary Iggy will be here to be playing you nice gospel songs to, reach into your soul and find out how it is we can find the Queen Mother's place again. Abiku was on the ones and two. Don't touch the dial.